International break can either be super important for a team that just kind of needs to step away, or it can kind of break them in a way because things maybe aren't addressed and then you come back to it. And you alluded to it that for Chelsea, maybe you think about everything that's going off around this club outside of the pitch. It started off with Enzo Fernández, a guy that's been their captain this season, with some of the comments that he made during the international break. So, of course, Charlie, he was first speaking to a news outlet and said that he doesn't know what his future with Chelsea is like. And then during the international break, he also spoke to a podcaster in Argentina, and he said, yeah, I would consider leaving.
Yeah, he asked him, what cities do you like in Europe other than London? And his answer was, yeah, I like Madrid. It's a lot like Buenos Aires.
Yes.
Obviously, you take that out of context, and it's really easy to say, well, yeah, there's issues at Chelsea, and yeah, sure, who wouldn't want to be in Madrid with the two clubs there in Real Madrid? So that's where kind of I do think that the suspension was a bit harsh, in my opinion. But
is the suspension over?
No, against City this weekend. It was
I was just thinking, you know, because we've had the break, I'm getting thinking, okay, then they played this. And I mean, I think that's way over the top.
Agreed.
But to sit out this game. Yeah. I mean, also, did you see it was put to Pep Guardiola? They said to him, look, Fernandez has just been suspended from Chelsea 2 games, but Rodri was much stronger. He said he'd love to play for Real Madrid.
Right.
I'd love to go and play there. And Pep just said, well, City, Chelsea.
Pep said if he wants to go there, who am I to stop? If a player is unhappy here, wants to go somewhere else. So very different for the way that they did it. But it's not just that for Chelsea. It's also Cucurella, who did make some comments also during the international break, speaking about, first, on how Liam Rosenior, like what he's been bringing. He's a good coach, and what he wants to bring in from the football perspective can sometimes be a bit tough with him having come in halfway through the season because there's only so many training sessions. But then he also did speak on Enzo Maresca and the dismissal of their previous manager, saying the moment that Maresca left, it had a big impact on us. These are decisions taken by the club. If you asked me, I would not have made this decision. To make a change like that, the best thing is to wait until the end of the season. He went on to say that the instability around the club comes from this in a nutshell. We had a caretaker first, then a new manager with new ideas and no time to work on them. It is what it is. Charlie, what do you make of those comments?
A fractured locker room is what I see when I look at Chelsea, because it's easy for all this noise to spill into performances and the inconsistency when you're watching Chelsea play, because Enzo Maresca got them to win the Club World Cup. It felt to me that Chelsea had turned the page. It was Pochettino kind of was trying to build the club back up. They were in the right direction. Next thing you know, Enzo Maresca comes in and they win the Club World Cup. So now you're saying, hey, Chelsea's back, and they spent a ton of money on young players with a lot of potential. And it felt like Enzo Maresca was finally getting the best out of this group and was molding them to really compete on all fronts. Then they sack him, and it feels like you have Moises Caicedo and a midfield that has Cole Palmer in it, and now all of a sudden you're taking this third Argentine and suspending him for coming out and saying, like you said, it's a harmful thing. I like Madrid. You also maybe have to.
Cucurella's comments, Charlie, are surely more damning of the club than Fernandez is.
I think so.
It's a number of different components when you're looking at this Chelsea locker room. Everyone has their own twist on it. Shouldn't have sacked the manager, which means maybe Liam Rosenior is the right manager for Chelsea, but not right now, is basically what he was trying to say. I like that. He has good ideas, but we don't have time to implement it. So you're disrupting what Enzo Maresca has built. And by the way...
Which is fair comment from a senior pro.
And I think, by the way, we were all bought into what Enzo Maresca was having and putting in front of us. So it's a difficult situation, and I think it raises real questions about leadership around Chelsea. At the end of the day, who's the leader?
It's the leadership. It's the problem for me. It's above. It's really simple. If you cast your mind back, Enzo Maresca pretty much talked himself into getting the sack. He emboldened the club. The things he said, he wasn't happy. He was unhappy about the way things run. Subsequently, stories have come out about the pressure he was put under. And there is a problem. There's a problem in the way the club is being run. The best part about Cucurella's quote, though, he said, this decision was made by the club. But if you ask me...
I wouldn't have made it.
Nobody actually asked you. You just want to have your say.
So doesn't that seem worse than Enzo Fernandez's comments? I don't know.
Yes.
It feels...
What the problem is the Chelsea hierarchy are not aligned with the head coach and the group. And now you're having this group react because they're upset because they feel when you have Enzo Fernández, you have Cole Palmer and you have Moises Caicedo in the middle of the pitch controlling the game. That is such a strong trio. You throw in Pedro Neto and you throw in Joao Pedro and you throw in a number of these players who can contribute. This team should be doing much better.
Charlie, I'm going to go stronger. I don't think the leadership group, the directors, the owners of Chelsea, I don't think they're aligned with football. I don't. You just buy young players, give them 8-year contracts, and that they don't put any experience in there. They don't allow the coach to develop his ideas in the way he wants to.
So it's just operating on money.
They've come in and said, right, we're going to do it completely differently to everybody else. And some said, OK, you are either geniuses or there's a reason why people don't do it like this. Right now, we're seeing why people don't do it like this.
But it goes against, I mean, they sign these players to these long contracts, and it goes against what they're doing when they're manager carousel. I mean, it really is, it's almost like the leadership of the club is fighting what they're doing on the pitch. I think that, when I mentioned manager carousel, I think that gets so many clubs into trouble nowadays in this modern era, where you just there's zero patience. And I'm in the group that say you got to give these managers an opportunity. The
like
quick sack.
For instance, Arne Slot with Liverpool right now, you're saying he has a pass this year, no matter what?
Yeah, that's a good point, because I don't. Because I think that there's a disconnect. That's fair. You got me on that one. You put me on the spot. You got me on that one.
A question.
It's fair. It's fair. I think that there's a disconnect there between the fan base and the club and Arne Slot. But for Enzo Maresca, you mentioned it. He's coming off winning the Club World Cup. They were trending in the right direction, and then things just went sour quickly. And he almost, like you mentioned, he almost brought the sack upon himself just because he was angry with the club, angry with the way things were going. I just think that it's almost fighting against, you have the players and the staff and everyone trying to put good performances on the pitch, and then you have the ownership group fighting against that. And to me, it doesn't make any sense. With the Cucurella and Enzo Fernández comments, Cucurella did apologize, right? He came out and apologized for those comments. Enzo Fernández didn't apologize till this morning, where he finally makes an apology. Maybe that's where Liam Rosenior decides.
Do you think he might play, having apologized, do you think he could be included?
I don't think that. No. I don't think Liam Rosenior can go back on the decision he made already.
Again, it's the lapses in discipline, the leadership. So now you're suspending Enzo Fernández. You might have lost him now for the rest of the season in terms of the respect, training, the day-to-day. You throw in a player like Estevao. You bring in a player like Estevao. Look at some of the players that they do have. This team should be competing in the league.
They're loaded.
But if you don't have proper leadership, then that goes all out the window. As you can see, people questioning the owner.
Who do you think suspended Fernandez? The manager or the club?
Manager.
I think the manager was trying to embolden himself.
And I don't know the answer. All I'm saying is it possible that he was told by the club
and he's being the fall guy?
And he'd be the fall, because he came out and the way he said it in his press conference, it seemed like he made the decision himself, but maybe he's
I think he was
trying
to really put pride back in representing Chelsea Football Club. If you play for Chelsea, then you shouldn't be ever talking about another club. You should never talk about leaving. Chelsea is the end-all, be-all, and it's a dream club to be a part of. And I think he was just trying to set the tone.
In fairness, I don't think any player should talk about going to another club while they're employed by a club. I just think it's a bad look, period.
Yeah.
Period. Unless they add the caveats. They say, look, I've got a long-term contract here. Who knows where I might end up after this? And of course, I was born in X. I'd love to go back there one day, but that's for another day.
Being in it every day and having the rumors around when I was playing and I really wanted to move beyond, and I'd get asked, you always say, I'm happy at this club. Right. Behind the scenes, you let your agent do all the work. Right. Of course, I'll be like, call my agent. What's the news today? What's the transfer? But
meanwhile, he's scoring goals, kissing the bag.
I love this thing.
100%. To the supporters, everything outward facing, you say, I love it here. I'm happy to be here. As soon as the lights turn off, you go and rate your agent. What are the offers look like?
It's business, and it's definitely
basics.
Professionalism, too.
It's definitely a lot harder now these days, though, with all this social media and everyone's got a podcast and a TV show and lots more reporters and people covering. But Jeff, I'm going to give you the task of doing the vibe meter here for Chelsea.
Oh dear.
I know. I'm sorry that
What
you're
are
the
my
one that I
categories?
have to pick. Let's see what the categories are for the vibe meter that you are going to be rating Chelsea on. You have blue skies,
Nope.
cruise control,
Nope.
on the crest,
Nope.
choppy waters, feeling
Nope.
the blues, or burning bridge. I like these categories.
Feeling the blues. I think that's a very well named category, because it's not just the results that we mentioned that are poor at the moment. It's the noise coming out, and it's
Everything.
not good noise. It seems like there's a lot of sniping going on. But
Ooh, sniping.
I still wouldn't write them off in any match, because they've got so much individual talent.